I am P.P. Scarborough. I'm Jay's cousin.
Nice. You're the county dog catcher, am I right?
I used to be.
Oh, what happened?
Well, they caught me getting just a little too friendly with the dogs. You know what I mean?
I don't think I really want to know what you mean, buddy. But sorry. I hope you can find gainful employment again soon.
I like the sound of the game. I like to be the game warden.
JJ doesn't got no work for you?
JJ's an asshole. He's
Bummer.
a self-centered little piece of shit.
Bad blood there, huh?
Oh, bad blood. His mama. Well, no, we won't read into that.
Well, best of luck to you, buddy.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll talk to you next time.
All right. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Had some crosstalk with your mic there. I think you got your wires crossed, buddy.
Do what now?
I think you had a little interference on your microphone. We had
picking up some radio waves or something somewhere. I don't know what's going on.
It was freaky.
Not sure what happened. Hey, Vaughn, T. Marie, PTW Media, Dohan, Donut, Subear, Script Cat, Mickmore. I saw Ron in here earlier. He's around. Gerhardt. New York Yankee fan.
Yeah.
PTW Media, Texas Mad Dog. What up? Simon Draco. What up? I like sirloin. That's a good one. Sirloin. Hellfire. All right. Hey, everybody.
Good crowd. Good crowd. Yeah. Chile. I something tells me Chile's not getting out.
You think?
Well, somebody made the comment in there that Chile thinks he's getting out.
Yeah.
Let's just say Chile thinks a lot of shit.
Somebody brought up that article. Look, that news story is nothing. I went and looked at it. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. I didn't look at the one in print, but the YouTube version on the Las Vegas Journal, it's nothing.
Nothing.
Announced that he's asking to be released.
Yeah, and they just kind of repeat his claim to be a constitutional law scholar out of hand, and it's like
he's a continental law scholar.
That's right. Somebody needs to set that reporter straight.
So, how's everybody? Man, last week was crazy, huh? Seemed like all we were doing was live streaming.
Yeah, just trying to keep up with the crazy.
So I had a pretty nice video I put up about 6 o'clock in the morning the other day, and lo and behold,
you don't say.
Lo and behold, a whole bunch of people went over there and reported that thing as cyberbullying, and YouTube said, "Well, we got to do something about that."
Oh, well, that wouldn't be from Camp Kiser.
Yeah, and so then I cleaned it up and I re-uploaded it, and lo and behold, they said, "Oh, no, you can't do this no more." But the final is up, and it's a PG version. A lot of narrative in it, but that was the whole purpose of me putting it up there. I had a lot to say, and but it's interesting that he several times in that video he brings up, I'm demanding that our people, especially if you're not a frauditor, that everybody's treated fairly. We don't go after anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Unless it's about you.
Right. Another little interesting tidbit. I don't know if you saw the community post. I saw, and by the way, guys, I'm kind of not feeling 100% today, so sorry if I'm sluggish, but I'm trying to power through it. Yeah, you got an interesting screenshot off of Johnny O's live stream.
Yeah, Linda snagged that the other night.
Right?
Yeah. everybody's been posting it. I noticed.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Linda,
Yeah.
thank you very much for being on top of the ball there.
She is a true champion. She
Yep.
is the master of clipping screenshots.
Yep. So I'll share the screenshot in question here real quick.
Gotcha.
You pop that up on the screen there.
Okay.
Try and zoom in here.
The question has also been asked. A lot of people think that Mrs. Schrodinger's cat did some things for him at some point, and I have emailed someone. I didn't want to contact her directly because she gets pretty emotional pretty easy. So I his producer. Anyway, I got her email address and I dropped her a little email and asked her if she, if there was anything that she could add to the. I think they try to stay away from it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I put it up on the screen there. I mean, I think she says it all right here.
Yeah, I don't see it here. Oh, there it is. It was hiding behind.
Yeah, I don't know if you all can read that adequately there, but this was in Johnny O's chat, live stream chat the other night, and Mrs. SC made an appearance, and I'll just read it for you here. I used to watch Fraudit Wrangler until I found out what he did, and now he's using my husband's name to think he would approve of what he did is fucking wrong, and I do not approve. So, any questions? Wrangler people? Didn't think so. Wonder if VOP is going to start sending her emails now.
I had to mention her in that video. Only mentioned her once.
Yeah, I try to mention her as little as possible, but
that's right.
It's impossible. She's the first thing that pops in your head, man. She's just like the number one Wranglerette.
All right. So you want to get on with the most recent phone call?
The Chile phone call?
Yeah.
Not really, but
okay.
I mean, we're here to.
Well,
to
we don't.
We
don't have to. I can play the 20-second news story, but there's nothing there.
No. I mean, I meant not really in the sense of,
Right. I got you.
Chile just gives one a headache in general, but that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
So
kind of
I guess
it's a rabbit hole that we started now, and I guess we have to stay in it.
Yeah, it's our fault. It's our fault. We got nobody to blame.
That's right.
So I've got it queued up there for you whenever.
But I've got it. It's right here.
Oh well, I had it too.
Well,
yeah. Well, one of us should play it.
I think so. Okay. Let's get this a little bit larger here. Let's go to town.
I mean, I do have it downloaded so that the audio might be a little better. I don't know. But let's just play it here and see how it does.
Woody Castro calling you from the dungeon.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Detention center in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm an innocent man who's been convicted of a crime I did not commit. I'm a journalist who was arrested for filming a cop. This is my daily update. I just want to take a second and say thank you to everybody who's been with me along the way, supporting me. This is a rough ride. This is really hard. I know it is. Thank you for standing strong with me. I got some letters here. I got one from Joe. I got one from Steve. I got one from Freedom. I got one from Bunley. I got one from Anna. Thank you so much. I got one from Mark. I got one from Lisa. I got one from Elizabeth. I got one from Australia. I got one from Chris. I got one from, let me keep reading some names here. Lisa, I got another letter from you.
Please.
I got one from Nacho. I got one from John Locke. I appreciate it. Love that name, John Locke. I got so many. I got one from Kenneth. I got one from Bruce. I got one from Alan. I I got so many letters here. I can't go through all of them, but I'm trying to.
Thank you.
I got one from Gladys. Thank you, Gladys. I got one from Ed. A couple from Ed, actually. I got one from Dan. Thank you. This is just the ones that I have in my hand
Ed's a
here.
twofer.
There's so many letters that I have them stacked in 2 different folders. I just want to say thank you to you guys for writing me. I appreciate it. It's a difficult ride for me, to be honest, and I know it's a difficult ride for you too. You know, to go from
not really
such a strong leader to where
I mean,
literally have to ask for people to help me. It's really horrible for me as a person. I know it's a role reversal for you guys as well.
now this was the first point when I listened to it earlier. First of all, that's pretty easy on my end, Chile. I mean, it's difficult to listen to you for sure, but you know, first things first here, he says, I know this is a role reversal for you guys. You're not used to, as if they're not used to him constantly asking for money and support. I mean, that's all this fucking guy does. So that was pretty funny. And then he also mentions somewhere in here about, well, let's just let it play when we get to that point.
Strong. We don't stop. Remember this, I have 10 weeks left today. 10 weeks left until my appeal, which is 70 days. 71 days. So I'm calling it 10 weeks right now. 10 weeks. Next week, there'll be 9 weeks. The week after that, there'll be 8 weeks. The week after that, it'll be 7 weeks. We don't stop. Listen, I know this is hard. Believe me, I know it's hard. I know that you guys have donated and that everybody is just there. This is the reason why we're petitioning. Because you're allowed to petition and say, hey, this man shouldn't be in jail. He's a journalist. He didn't do anything wrong. He filmed a cop. He should not be in jail for filming a cop. Obviously, there was bias against me. Obviously, I got an unfair trial. It's obvious. Everybody can see it on video. Even the merits of the trial, when I was asked to step back, I did. So this is hard. This is not going to be easy. I need you to hold on tight. I need you to stay with me and stick with me and help me get through this, because remember, a leader is nothing without people. You can't do anything unless you have.
Hold that thought, Yvonne. We'll talk about it after the video. I have something to say about that.
Yeah.
People. And so you are the weight. You are the power. You are we the people. We are united. And, I'm reading this book and I'm breaking down Spirit of Laws by Montesquieu right now. And it goes into 3 different kinds of government. A republican government, aristocratic government, and a despotic government. And you can really see the parallels in the despotic and the monarch governments when it aligns itself with socialism and communism. It's almost exactly the opposite of what Ayn Rand teaches in Atlas Shrugged. And you could just see the parallels. And I could see so many things that I didn't see before. One of the biggest things that I see is time management. When I was free and I had my own time and I was doing what I was doing, there was times I could have had time.
When I was free and I had my own time, it's kind of back-asswards to me. When I was free and had my own time, well, you have your own time now.
Yeah,
It's just combined. That's all.
Time management done a little bit better, and you may be able to parallel this in your own life. There's probably things that you're putting off that you keep on saying, yeah, I'm going to get to that. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. And then you don't get to it. And that's what constitutional law scholar was for me. I had this idea in my mind, but I just didn't get it done. And it's been almost 2 years that I've been saying I'm going to finish constitutional law scholar. But then every time the fork in the road came for time management, I seemed to find something else to do. And truly, now that I've got it all mapped out, I think it will be one of the best things that I've ever put forward. It will build my pride, my reason, my purpose, my self-esteem, and I'm really excited to get it done. And I can't wait to present it to you guys and show it to you and actually how it works, because I have all the pieces built before I even get out of this dungeon. So, back to you. I know this is hard for you. I know it's difficult for you. I know that there's the other side is celebrating that I'm locked in a cage.
there it is.
That's not who we are, though. And we
Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar?
We're the people who are for justice, who are for truth, who are for transparency. That's why I ask you, when you petition the court to release me, do it with respect, do it with deference, do it immaculately, do it pure. And all you do is write on a piece of paper, release de Castro, he's innocent, this is injustice. And that's your entire petition. It doesn't have to be a great big letter. And I'm not asking you to write some great big letter. You can send in 2 or 3 petitions a day. You can send as many as you'd like. You're more than welcome to petition the government for redress anytime
What
you'd
about
like.
the T-shirts,
But
Chile?
remember, be above the fray. Don't be negative or hateful or spiteful. Listen, this sucks for me. Today, specifically, was really hard. You're stationed 2 feet away from another guy, and you're locked down and told what to do constantly told to shut up. Today was really hard for me. It's been an extraordinarily taxing day. I've had to put in my erasers in my ears. Use the other end of an eraser. You stick it in your ear and it blocks out most of the sound. But I had to stick my erasers in my ears a couple times today and just ignore people around me because you're dealing with the
That's to keep the fluid from draining out.
homeless and you're dealing with the mentally ill.
I mean, I think
people who are recovering from drugs or just coming.
Huh?
I think people have the same reaction to Chile in there probably too.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
trying to stay as far the fuck away from him as possible.
Off drugs inside of one room, and there's 70 of us. I don't think I've been outside in a couple weeks. I haven't seen the outside. I haven't seen the sun. So while this is hard for you to listen to me from the dungeon, and it's hard for you to see me at the disadvantaged position where I have to go online and e-beg and say, help, I got to hire a lawyer, and to see me in this position, to be
it's really surprising.
It's really hard. And you know what? If people want to celebrate that, they're welcome to do that. But I'm going to get out of here one day if I live through this, and I'm going to come out stronger and better than ever because I have more purpose now. I have more reason now. My self-esteem will be stronger and bigger and better because I will have lived through this. Remember, people get taken out of here on a stretcher every day. So I have to live through this first. I have 10 more weeks. So this is really, if you think listening to me on a video and hit the like button, everybody hit the like button, put in the comment section, OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. I'm in here because the cop went on the stand and said he didn't feel safe because I was standing too close. That's Terry versus Ohio. So if you think listening to me on here is hard for you, imagine what I'm going through. It's really hard for me. I'm really in a struggle, in a big struggle. There's 70 different personalities in this room right now. And everybody has age.
How many are yours, Chile?
Life story.
Yeah, hit that like button.
How many of those personalities are yours, Chile?
No kidding. What?
Well, he's a different person on every single phone call, you know, like just whatever mood he's in. He's either serious.
What happened to Rodriguez versus U.S., you know, that was the case law he quoted during the traffic stop.
Yeah, which has absolutely
nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, look at the one he quoted for Constitutional Law Scholar the other day. Remember that one? The Alabama one about buggering your relatives or something like that? It's like, flood for the whole family, Constitutional Law Scholar. What a dick.
Yeah, we still follow that law down here.
A lot of people in here who are straight up crazy, completely and utterly schizophrenic, crazy. And there's nothing I can do about it. And they're all around me. It's like, if you've never seen the scene from 12 Monkeys, put that to YouTube. 12 Monkeys, Brad Pitt, jail scene.
Yeah, Donuts, you're right. The music's not there today. His editor must be
He's not trying to be dramatic. Yeah, he's playing a bunch of different characters on here. And also, fuck you for bringing up 12 Monkeys, man. It's a great fucking movie. Try and co-op.
I know what I'm living through day in and day out. I'm eating garbage food. I'm getting softer and softer because I'm laying in the bed half the day. So listen, I'm not trying to say that woe is me, but it is. So if you're frustrated, you're like, fudge, I want him out of there. This is wrong. All we can do is petition and redress. That's all we can do for now. We got the appeal hearing coming up on July 10th, which is just about 70 days. So that's 10 weeks, and that's how I'm going to count it down. So stick with me and count it down with me, and let's just get through this. Don't let anybody discourage you. Don't let the naysayers or the people who celebrate putting people in dungeons, don't let them get to you. Who gives a shit? We don't stop. We keep moving forward no matter what. And I'm going to give a couple people a call today who put their phone numbers in letters. Thank you so much for leaving your phone numbers. Thank you guys for the fundraiser. I really appreciate it. I think we're going to be okay. We're going to push through, and Remember, I'm looking for 2 short videos. Someone doxed me in the.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be funny to write Chile a letter and put your phone number in there and wait for his phone call, but that would be kind of funny.
Okay. I've got that old landline that goes to that old computer. I'll try that.
Oh, I wasn't saying for you or anybody else to do that, but that seems like it would be entertaining.
End of October, beginning of November, they put my address, my home address, and they put my office address online in 2 short videos. I'm looking for anybody who downloaded those videos, and then also someone impersonated me by putting a picture of me up on a spot fund account, and then saying they were from Los Angeles and they were a 25-year constitutional law scholar. Does somebody have a screenshot of that? That's what I'm looking for, that screenshot, or who downloaded or screen recorded those 2 shorts, because there's another side of the coin here, and that's what we're working on right now. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing here. And we're going to get through this. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. So listen, hit the like button. Communicate with your friends out here. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. We don't stop.
Yeah, love you too,
Kitty.
Kitty.
Later, Gators.
What was it? Somebody said, what did I do? Ram mentioned beer. I mentioned beer. I guess I did.
My beer days are over with.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that certainly was a phone call.
That's what that was.
Yeah. Also, they are allowed yard time. So I don't know what's preventing. It said in the manual for Clark County, it said you can have schedule a time to do it, but if you're on lockdown, you can't. You're not able to do it.
He's not.
Well, I mean, he might have some sort of special thing, or he's just lying about not being able to go outside, because they are the inmates are allowed to schedule yard time on the regular. It looks like.
Chile lie.
Yeah, right. Well, lying about the food. Also, somebody brought it up that him trading his commissary privileges.
No.
Yeah, that's a no. So
they don't like that in jail because the paybacks
creates a dangerous situation. Yep. Yeah, it says it right in the manual or there. And also the other side talking, they're the good ones. Everybody else who's against them is the bad ones. Typical cult, us versus them. Does that remind you of anybody, Ram? Any recent statements we might have heard?
I'm sorry, what? I was pulling video. I'm sorry, what?
The other side, him referring to the other side, laughing at him being in jail. Saying we're the good people, they're the bad people.
We're the bad people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Does that remind you, I was going to say, of any other public statements we've heard from?
Like the video I just made?
That one? Yeah, like that?
Yeah, like that. Like
sort of reminiscent.
Mr. Wrangler.
Yeah.
Interesting things coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. And he also did to be respectful when you write,
Yeah.
Also,
the thing
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, the thing I pointed out in the video too, what I don't understand, what was the purpose of the video to begin with? I mean, him hauled around about exactly. Him hauled around about a couple people leaving the channel. It's a YouTube channel. People come and go. They may have been close. And see, that's the other problem. He wants everybody to be his friend or his family, right?
Have his back.
So you're going to get butt hurt every time one of your stepchildren takes off.
That's all he has. That's all he has in the world, man.
That's all he's got. He doesn't have a life outside of that computer. None. Zero. Zilch. But yeah, that's the thing that got me. The whole video, the purpose of it was They just don't get it. But that made it even more ironic, I guess. Anyway, I mentioned that several times in the video. It was a long ass video.
Yeah,
but I've had some people asking me questions about some things, and that's why I spent a couple minutes laying a few things out, because Kiser, as I knew him, I've never really known him as Wrangler, because he went off and did his Wrangler channel. I was just Michael or Mike or whatever.
Real quick, New York Yankees fan, I just wanted to point this out before I forget it. Does Fraudit Wrangler have a daughter? No. Lied about that too.
He doesn't have one with his ex-wife.
No.
Texas Mad Dog, 1970, new member. Thank you, buddy. Love having you over here.
Welcome. Now it's us versus them, Texas Mad Dog. You better have our back, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't, for God's sakes, don't go over and criticize their videos. Of course, we're all blocked anyway. That's another thing. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 accounts, and all 4 of them have been blocked over there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're creating a little bubble around himself. So he's trying to insulate himself from criticism. Whereas over here, you'll notice anybody can come in here and leave your 2-bit opinions.
Absolutely.
I mean, it'll sort itself out. And
Abon mentioned earlier that she was in a chat somewhere, and somebody made some crap up about Mark Stout, and she calls him Razor. That's a nickname. That's one of his nicknames. So when she refers to Razor, that's Mark Stout at Exposing Frauditors. And I can tell you right now, what you said in that comment's not true. Mark, actually, before he went on his little hiatus, he won a case, actually a settlement that was Reyes. He announced that, and then he took off for a little bit, and he's back. He's working on a video. He's just had to take some time away from YouTube. And I think, honestly, I can't speak for him. I'm just going to take a shot at it here, that he stayed off of his channel during this last case, which he won, by the way, just to be safe. Just that he wouldn't get tangled up in anything that could blemish that trial.
So basically, he did the opposite of what Chile would have done.
Absolutely, yeah, absolute obvious.
Kept his mouth shut, laid low, played it smart. Those are absolutely not in the DeCastro dictionary.
Well, Blurful, Mark will be back real soon. He's working on a video, and I'm sure he'll come back with a bang. And I know he's got some other things going on too. Playing with Chille's pretrial hearing is tomorrow. Does he have a pretrial tomorrow? Oh, May 1st. Yeah, that's for the other arrest.
Yeah.
When he was arrested in that parking lot.
At the scene of the accident.
Yeah, with those motorcycle cops. Now we haven't seen any. Now, hopefully, we'll get to see some body cam off of that once it gets going, because that's the one thing we haven't seen is the officer's point of view on that.
Yeah,
because his goes off right when they grab him. But yeah, that's for the. And then he's got some municipal charges too in the middle of May, right?
Is that the Good Springs
charge?
One?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a lot of. I mean, I'm just interested to see the results of him, threatening the judge.
Yeah, Draco, we can do that. I mean, if I'm around, I'll go live. If it's,
yeah,
I would like to. So, if I'm around and it's going, then I'll go
because
live.
I wonder if they're going to bring up his behavior since he's been in jail, because it's been hard. I wouldn't say exemplary, right? He's gotten pinched on a couple things. I wonder if they're going to do anything about his commissary trading. You know, I wonder just what exactly his reputation is over there, and if that will play into it at all.
Wouldn't that be nice if we had access to jail reports?
Yeah,
It would be nice.
but this way it's more mysterious.
Yeah.
Trail hiker said the video sounded like he was trying to save face and come up with a tough guy act to show people it wasn't bothering him. You could tell it is. Yeah, he says it's bothering him in there. Yeah, it's crazy. He'll go from whining to hey, what's up, unclean hands? What's up, buddy? He'll go from just whining and begging to claiming he's the biggest tough guy that ever lived. It's not standard behavior.
PTW for $1.99. Is he really being extradited, or is that bullshit? What we were talking about a week or so, I lose track of time. Collins' deal in Maryland, he claims that they will extradite him. And he claimed, did he not say he?
Did he not? I lost your mic there for a second. Did he not say what?
Is this mic cutting out?
It just did for a second, but you're
okay. Good. Okay. Did Colin not say that he talked to the prosecutor in Maryland and they said they would extradite him? Yeah.
He did. He sent me a screenshot indicating that whatever papers were to be delivered to him were delivered. Whatever. I mean, we'll see. He's got enough problems on his plate in Vegas for now. I mean,
right.
I have to limit the amount of time I spend thinking about this knucklehead during the day, because it's like following some other loser's life when you're trying to live your own life is tricky.
So what is May 1st is Thursday, right? Let's see what they
say. No, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Right?
Today. What's today? 30th?
April 30th.
Yep. Okay.
Liz said that Good Springs was a U-turn that's sitting up at the court in the undisposed pending cases, basically until they get a rescheduled date. Okay, good to know.
Thank
you, Liz. Yeah. It's interesting watching all this unfold and all, but like I said, I can't.
Blurple Dragon, new member. Thanks. We love having you here.
That's why it's nice to be able to come on these live, because God knows making my videos takes forever, and
they do.
So to be able to, just so to be able to, the immediacy of it is good, to be able to kind of just dispose of some of this stuff on the fly, and then later if I have ideas to make videos out of them.
Let's see what our Nevada judges has posted.
By the way, you can't just fucking petition to get somebody out of jail like that. It doesn't work. Just so Chile knows. I mean,
okay. Let's see here.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some sort of federal intervention on Chile for all this, man, because that phone call was. I mean, I don't think there's you can't like oversell how off the wall it was, man. And since he has essentially a countrywide reach with his YouTube channel,
hey,
they might start dipping into his affairs on a.
Since his pre-trial is coming level. Up, his pre-trial is coming up. This preliminary is coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, just to reminisce, let's do this. Let's do this. It's a good video.
You make me nostalgic.
Oh, Jose de Castro. afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. All right, Mr. DeCastro, this is an obstructing or false info charge. It is case 24-006-842. Obviously, I'm going to ask you, do you understand your proceedings are being filmed?
Of course.
Okay.
They're here because I'm here.
Right, okay, and just so that the record's clear, you have no objection to that?
Of course not. I
Okay.
would like the transparency. I
Oh, no,
appreciate
that's
it.
fine. I need to ask that. City, there's no other issues for you with respect to this being filmed? Okay. All right, Mr. DeCastro, did you get a copy of the complaint?
I did. Only question I have is who's the prosecutor? What's the prosecutor's name?
Well, let me ask a couple questions, and then we'll get into what your questions are. Did you review and understand this?
I don't understand it. I don't understand how I can be charged with obstruction for filming a cop.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Constitutional law scholar.
Yep.
Basic question. You do not have to agree with this. This is
Do I
simply
understand I'm in
how-
charge with the misdemeanor? I do
Yes.
understand I'm in charge
Okay,
with the
that's
misdemeanor.
literally it.
I have trial tomorrow. for the exact
That's
same
the
thing.
question.
In this jurisdiction?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Wow.
I don't want to get into any of that.
Sure.
Today, we're just here for the purposes of this. It's a very procedural type of thing today for the arraignment. So you do understand what you got charged with. You do not have to agree with this. This is just an allegation. So you don't need me to read it to you.
I don't.
Okay, very good. And are you planning on hiring an attorney to represent yourself?
I will have a standby attorney for this case
You will have a standby
Yes.
attorney. Okay.
Not in Nevada.
because I think that I'm going to win this easy. It's on film and I wasn't obstructing
Okay.
anybody.
All right, Mr.
Is
Patrick.
this the prosecutor, Matthew B.
Okay,
Walker?
let me do my part first, and then we can get into what it is. So, because I need to know, are you proceeding on your own? Do you want to have an attorney? Because I will give you time to talk to an attorney on your own if that's the route that you would like to go.
I will have a standby attorney for
Okay.
this case.
So typically, I would set this for a pre-trial to give you an opportunity to obtain discovery and for your attorney to find out whatever all is associated with this.
Sure,
So I can set that over for a pre-trial date to give you the opportunity to do that. Would you like to do that?
that'd be great.
Okay, and then, what is it that you need to tell me without talking about the facts? of
I just
this?
need to know if this is the prosecutor's name. Is that the person prosecuting, Matthew B. Walker?
Wait for it.
That is a good question. I will tell you that the city attorney is Jeffrey Dorokat, and that's the
Wait for
person's
it.
name on the upper left-hand corner of the complaint. Matthew Walker is a deputy city attorney who actually prosecutes this case.
And you're gonna
Depends
do
on
what,
the office.
Chile?
I'm going to sue him for malicious prosecution. I'm going to sue everybody involved. I'm going to sue the cops.
So,
I'm going to
Mr.
sue the
Castro,
county.
I appreciate.
Sue
you having me.
everybody.
Today's just the
I
arraignment.
got you. I got you.
Saying all these things,
you're
we're
just-
here
you're
for
just
your
kidding.
misdemeanor case,
Sure.
okay?
But there's a bigger issue. There's transparency in the courtroom, which is the best thing that could possibly happen.
That's
Now the
fine.
people get to hear that I'm going to sue Jeffrey and I'm going to sue Matthew and I'm going to sue
So
every one
here's
of
what
those
we're not gonna
cops.
do, Mr. DeCastro. This is not going to be a personal
Get him,
pulpit
Cynthia.
for your, philosophical difference or belief. You have the media here, and that's fine. This is
Great.
an open court.
It's
But
great.
I don't want you to start saying things too far extraneous for purposes of this misdemeanor charge, because
Well,
that's what, no, do
Good
not
luck
interrupt.
with that.
Because that's what we're here for, okay? So here's the thing, I'm recording everything, and you need to be aware that that's a two-sided thing. You're representing yourself, so I'm having this conversation with you. All these statements that you're saying can also potentially be used against you because you're getting recorded. So just so you understand. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm
Does the-
assuming you're entering a not guilty plea,
Does the
correct?
misdemeanor carry jail time?
Possibly, yes.
Possible jail time. So you said a second ago that this is a misdemeanor case as though it's something minor, but I can be put in a dungeon and locked away.
In no
Careful.
way
So that's true.
did I imply that this was minor
Okay.
by
Yeah, it's a big
saying that it's a
It's a
misdemeanor.
big deal.
Okay,
Okay,
Mr.
thanks.
DeCastro, let's not get off on the wrong foot. I have my job to do, and I'm not
Too
trying to
late.
engage in a conversation that's adversarial with you today.
No, I'm not
I
trying to
would
either. I'm not trying. I like you a lot. I think you look like a real nice person.
Okay.
I got nothing against you
So we're
personally.
gonna not guilty plea
Thank
on
you.
your behalf
Thank
today. I'm gonna reset this for a pretrial. I do need to understand because you said you were gonna have standby counsel, so are you going to represent yourself primarily, or do you wanna
Thank you, Team Maria. I love that you're here as a member. I read your comments all the time.
have that conversation, come back with your attorney, because there's certain procedural things I'll need to do to protect due process and your due process. if you want to go ahead and represent yourself.
Right. No, I'm going to have a standby attorney, and that has to do with a few different things. But I should probably consult with my attorney before I say anything to be used against me later.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. And I would rather that you protect yourself because we're recording, and that is where I'm coming from in the
What
kind of
up, Rage?
conversation and comments that I'm making to you today. So you are obviously entitled to represent yourself. That is your right. But let's do this. Let's get you a pre-trial date. And that date, ordinary course for private attorney will be
May 1st at 1:30.
May 1st at 1:30.
I think I have.
Do you need a different date?
This is such bullshit.
I may need a different date because I have a different thing in Indiana. I'm just not
You
sure.
don't have
Can I
shit.
just look in my phone real
Of
quick
course.
at my calendar here?
Yeah, remember, I'm a constitutional law scholar, Judge. So, I have a real busy schedule traveling around the country helping those in need.
And Your Honor, I have absolutely nothing against you. I'm not in any way adversarial to you at
Okay,
all.
I'm glad to hear that,
I
Mr.
just,
McCaffrey, because we may be
yeah,
on this case
Yeah,
for
I
a
have
while.
nothing against
Okay.
you. I don't know you. You seem like a nice person to me. I couldn't possibly hold anything against you. personally.
Creepy.
So I'm just looking.
Yes,
for the date that I
Patrick, I'm
have
having
in
a blast.
Indiana. I sue lots of cops all around the country. I help sue lots of cops around the country if they violate people's rights. So I have a case in Indiana that I'm just looking for the date. And that May 1st,
Jesus.
Yes, at 1:30.
can't talk. I'm in court.
What up, Tex?
Judge is looking at me.
Is it easier if I give you a different date and then you look at that?
Well, I'm just not sure if it's
Hey,
May
she's
1st
being
or-
patient.
I'm just gonna be there because I'm assisting with the financing of filing a federal civil rights lawsuit against these cops who arrested this man.
At this point, yeah, see what I mean? She's being extraordinarily lenient
Oh, yeah.
because at this point, he keeps ramping it up. She's warned him.
If this
told
was
him, you know,
Judge Simpson, he'd be all in his goat right now.
yeah, I mean, she's not having any of what he's selling, but she's being very, very patient with him.
And what I thought was funny is she had no knowledge. He made it sound like she should have known he had a trial the following day, and she had no knowledge of it. And
Yeah, that's a good thing to bring to attention.
Yeah. But I promise you, they all know him now. I'm sure that there's been some conversation.
Oh,
Now that-
absolutely, man. You don't publicly threaten a judge and it get printed in the local newspaper.
That's
you know.
right.
I mean, he didn't. The newspaper article really didn't frame it as threatening. I think they said he called her a tyrant, without delving too much into the sort of. But of course, the reporter is not familiar with Chille's background. Clearly, you know what I mean.
Know what you mean?
It's a lot of work. So I'm
You
just
catch
he's
that?
texting me back right now. I'll know the date in 1 second. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
which
work.
part?
So he's texting me back right now. I'll know the date in 1
Wait
second.
for it.
Okay,
I
I
hate
see
to
what
waste
you're
any.
saying.
I hate to waste any of these people's time.
You're
at
not
all
wasting
whatsoever.
anyone's time.
I just want to make sure that, because then we have to reset it again. If it's possible for my attorney to be here and me not to be here,
Absolutely.
well, then we can set it for any date. It's most
Okay.
convenient for the court.
That's fine. You
Cool.
will need to inform your attorney of that date, and then
Okay.
I'm sure they will know to appear for you. If nobody's there on that day, that would be a problem.
That would be a bad thing.
Right, so you would need to be here if in fact this is not your attorney that you're gonna hire. Because then I need to figure out, do you need more time or?
No, I already have
what you
I already
decide?
have an attorney retained.
Okay, so we will keep the May 1st, 1:30 date for your standby attorney to appear for you. And you do not need to appear on that date as long as your lawyer is here.
What time is that at, ma'am?
1:30 in the afternoon, and you are in Department 1, May 1st.
Department 1 at 1:30. Set.
Okay?
Thanks.
All right, I will see you
Constitutional
your
law.
attorney on that date, or just your attorney, Mr. McCasker?
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay, you too.
Yeah. Constitutional law scholar, everybody. Hey, Gia.
Hey, Gia. What a douchebag.
Yep. Douche bag. Yeah, we're doing good, Rick. Thank you, buddy. Local 7 at 7 is the video version of it. It really didn't it was really broad strokes. Just said a YouTuber, and they repeated that he's a journalist and constitutional scholar without any qualification or anything. So it was very general, you know. I think it's a much, more interesting story the author could be writing, but then again, we've been following this weasel for how long now?
Too long.
Too long. Yeah, he does wear on you. He's an exhausting dude.
That he is. Let's see here.
You got anything funny for us?
I'm looking to see what time this is tomorrow.
Oh, his
it's
probably in the
morning. Probably.
Anybody in the chat know real quick?
They don't show it.
Yep. 1 p.m. I knew Liz would come through there. Yep. 1:30. We got competing times.
Close enough.
It's on Reddit.
Figure it out in the morning.
What's on Reddit? PTW, Chile in general, or this
The time.
Okay, so 1:30. You say. All right. Well, we'll be
The judge
try and make ourselves available for that. I don't know if Nevada judges I didn't get a notification from them, so
I didn't either. That's why I went to the channel and I don't see it on there either.
Yeah.
Check it out more in the morning.
That's right. There's always show a half an hour early for court.
And they wanted to get their lunch in.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch because, like I said, I don't know if they will use his all the information in the phone calls against him.
What I want to see, since he has an attorney for this, I want to see how this attorney handles him. Because his last attorney, man, I felt so sorry for that guy.
Man, he was a broken man by the end of that.
Yeah, he was just
the pause that he took before he made his final statement was just like it was radiating off of him, man. It's like,
so it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Wonder why Eli didn't step up for him, since he's visiting him 2 times last week.
Yeah, he said twice, and again, didn't hear any mention of Chile saying he's gotten any letters from his family or visits from his family.
Gee, I wonder why.
Mr. Family Man.
Diamond Draco, $2. I'd love commentary of hearings from you two. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see what we can do. Tomorrow's Wednesday. That'll work. I get home around noon.
I might have to do it by phone tomorrow.
Nah, I don't think so. Oh no, that's right. Eli couldn't. You're right. He's California and Texas. He's not licensed in Nevada. Right.
Yeah, I don't know what his fascination with Chile is, but then again, I'm not sure what my fascination with Chile is anymore, other than we've just come too far to
we're
walk away from it, I guess.
Too far down the rabbit hole now.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to me. But then again, that guy also had.
I promise, if somebody grabs my ankles, I'll grab yours.
Right. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll go along with it. Eli also did a live stream kind of defending that NorCal Cop Watch guy.
Right.
And we all know about him, right?
Horrible.
So I'm not sure what he's hoping to gain by associating with you know, again, Chille's.
Yvonne the Kush Queen, Supersonic Transport. SST, huh? I'm sure that's not what it stands for. 2 whatever they spend over there. 2 slabs of bacon. Is that a side of lamb? Good times, Reyes and Deep Doo Doo. Yeah, Reyes is going to be back in the picture again here soon, isn't he?
Is he looking at felonies finally?
I haven't caught up on it, but I know that Mark will come back in blazing, so
Right.
we'll be up to date on it. I'll let him. It's a lot easier for him to update me because even when I look at stuff, he points things out. I was like, oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, Liz, I don't know.
There's a constitutional law scholar.
Perhaps they're not aware of his dealings with him. But
Yeah, Rage. I was reviewing some videos, getting some validation off of Mark's channel from about a year ago, and one of his flash trolls. You were there, and Yvonne was there. We did that flash troll thing when Fraudit Wrangler showed up to the channel, and Razor kind of stroked him really hard, tell him how fantastic he is and all that kind of stuff. But it was all a ploy. Let's see what Navy Tech's got to say here. There's a lot of minor offenders in their community for $4.99. And whose community is that? I gotta have to catch up.
I think he's talking about the frauditors.
Oh, the frauditors in general. This is true.
Hey, Pat Darcy's here.
All right.
What's up,
Hello,
sir?
Mr. Darcy, sir. I think sir is appropriate.
Yeah, if you
Great channel. Good stuff.
Always look forward to your reactions to stuff. So I understand if you're sick of chili, but we all look forward to your analyses. For sure. Good to have you here.
Yep. Outstanding. Let's see. But hypocritical. Yeah, that's a good point. Right there. That's a good point. King Braveheart.
When you
Rick says, finally a real lawyer. yeah. Patrick Darcy is a real lawyer. There's no doubt about that. I've learned so much in just a short period of time. And I watch a lot of legal stuff. Patrick Darcy's sharp. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, 100%. And he's unbiased too. He really is just focused on the legality of it all.
Oh yeah, I love it when he's breaking down the videos. I mean, he points out the things that are pluses. Very few of them, but he points it out. I like the fact that he understands the fact that when it's Nevada, and he'll emphasize, look, I'm not an attorney in Nevada. When there's something that could be maybe a little off, and I like that because a lot of them just speak what they know, and if you're just a dummy like me, you assume they know what they're talking about. What the hell?
Oh wow, buddy, thank you,
Patrick Darcy. This is appropriate. Current situation. Thank you very much, sir. I'm
another
I'm
joke.
flattered.
Love it. Mucho apreciado. And yeah, Rick is saying, well, I won't. He says Michael Eline is a disgrace to all of us, we real veterans. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I got something to say. I don't like the fact that he wears his, and I went and looked it up. DP will tell you, I went and looked it up, and it's frowned upon for them to wear any type of uniform, even if it's the camos.
Yeah. It's actually not allowed. He was a wartime veteran, I'm assuming. That is, he was enlisted at a time when we were engaged in a conflict somewhere. It says in the regs either declared or non-declared, and since we've pretty much been at war since forever now, I'm assuming that he was is considered a wartime veteran. So it says specifically in the rules that wartime veterans are only allowed to wear their uniforms, and that would be dress uniforms, by the way, because it's for either parades or funerals, military.
Right.
Military parades or funerals. So you could probably get away with like a military wedding too, or wearing
Right,
it to a wedding or something like that.
Probably any kind of military tribe uniform.
I don't think anybody would complain about that, but I think it's weird as shit, dude. I mean, you don't see me wearing my Gilligan hat around still, you know. I mean, it's just it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, the guy's not dumb either, you know what I mean? I think he's makes some questionable people to support, but I mean, he got a law degree and passed the bar, and he's like, I'm guessing multimillionaire from his practice. So I mean, he's successful. I read one of his articles. It seemed well written, better written than the comments he leaves in my videos.
Hold on here a second. I nuked my channel.
Oh, hey, buddy. Hello.
Good morning.
From Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to tell everybody who you are, but if you don't, if you wish to remain anonymous, I won't say nothing.
Won't say a word. It's totally up to you. We'll just call you Nuked.
Nuked. Yeah.
Nuked. Welcome.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know. I have that video coming out on that guy pretty soon. It's he's an interesting little fellow, isn't he?
The justice system's not going to do anything to Kiser about stolen valor. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Oh yeah, no. But that's all right. These things have a way of working themselves out.
They do.
And the wheels are turning. So
it's
going to be really interesting after they haul him off again, just to see how many of his followers just kind of slink off to somewhere else. How many, it's crazy. I don't understand it myself, but I'm gonna have to jump off, man. And
a lot going on.
Take care of Mrs. Stickbag, and
I'm not going to stay much longer either.
Yeah, especially if we're gonna. Hey, Tina Slay, what's up? Good to see you all here tonight. And I guess stay tuned tomorrow. We may go live for Chille's.
I will post it soon.
Preliminary hearing. Yeah. All right, gang. Good to see you all.
All right, DP.
Are you hanging in? You're staying on, buddy?
I hang on a few more. There's a few people here, so we'll hang out a little bit.
For sure, man. And, y'all have a good night.
Not too much longer, though. Say hey to the missus.
Will do.
And I will talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. See you. Bye.
Well, so let's see if we can find a video to watch here real quick, and then we'll work our way out of here. Trying to think what we were talking about. Later Gators. That's what Chile says. Later Gators. Let's see what we got here.
Anybody have a video you want me to pull up? They saw like anything that got their interest today that you would like me to play? I'm here for you. What we got here? What's there? Let's see. Yeah, Rick, I'm with you. I'm wishing you the best too. I hope I'm happy that he came by. I was worried when I saw that the channel got nuked, but I understand it. And as long as he's, back around to let us know everything's okay. See, I'm trying to find something. Which one, Yvonne? I got quite a few of his videos in my catalog. But man, they're so you're not talking about in Louisiana. No, well, he screwed up so many times. Well, it's your choice, King Braveheart. I feel the same way about The Bachelor. That's why when I'm going through the channels, I don't stop. Today. All right, I'll go look, Linda. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. All right, let's pull this up. Yeah, once I get this started, I'm going to step away for a minute. I got to go run and take a quick whiz for Long Island audit. There we go. All right. That sound good to everybody? Watch this. FT, thank you, Frauditor Troll. We're going to watch a video from your channel. Appreciate you, man.
Usually for felony charges, or say for both? Are they used for misdemeanors?
Here's what the law is. The law is that a grand jury is necessary to move forward on a felony, but it is not only used for felonies.
Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, it looks like LIA is in hot water once again. The poor guy can't catch a break. Just as he's flexing that he got 2 charges dismissed in Nassau County, it looks like he might be facing some charges and possibly felonies for his little stunt with the billboard truck at the commissioner's house. So today, in the interest of transparency, obviously, I'm going to be also covering the dismissal, but most importantly, the potential charges that he's facing. But before we get into that, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Aura. What I'm about to tell you is extremely important. Last month, AT&T sent an email to their customers saying that 7.6 million accounts have been compromised and that personal information has been stolen. It was later revealed that it was actually 73 million current and former customers who had their info leaked on the dark web. The stolen information contained full names, email addresses, mailing addresses, phone numbers, date of birth.
I'm sorry. I should have remembered he runs that ad now before I got up and left.
We just watched. I was arrested at the Department of Social Services, and the other one where I was surreptitiously recording inside of the Department of Social Services, and Police Commissioner Patrick Psycho Ryder sent plainclothes officers to my home across county lines, tried to run me off the road, and intimidated my family at my home. Speaking of that, I just released the video of the billboard truck, so stay tuned to the end where I was peacefully protesting in Nassau County. I might be facing some legal consequences as a result of that protest, but stay tuned to the end for more information on that. So let's take a look at this order. State of New York against Sean Paul Reyes. The defendant moves to dismiss the 2 accusatory instruments in these cases pursuant to Criminal Procedure Law 170.3, alleging the instruments are facially insufficient. The district attorney opposes the application. Well, of course they do. The defendant correctly points out that the charge of violating 140.10 is facially insufficient. The statutory scheme under Penal Law 140 is that the crimes get progressively more serious, beginning with Penal Law 140.05, which only requires a person knowingly enters or remains unlawfully in or upon the premises, which include a building. 140.10 requires an additional element that the building entered be fenced or otherwise enclosed in order to raise the offense from a violation to a Class B misdemeanor. People v. Moore. Here, the factual allegations do not establish each of the necessary elements to establish a violation of 140.10 in either docket, since there is no allegation that the building entered by the defendant is fenced or enclosed. In accordance with Moore, the accusatory instrument is facially insufficient. Therefore, the motion to dismiss both of the charges of Penal Law 140.10 is granted. In light of the dismissal of the consolidated charges, the remaining requests for relief are denied as moot. This constitutes the decision in order of the court, so ordered Judge David Goodsell. Shout out to Judge Goodsell for honoring his oath to the United States Constitution and New York State law.
So LIA is calling this a win, and it certainly isn't a loss because the case was dismissed, but it's also not quite a win either. This has no impact on case law whatsoever because he was not found not guilty. He wasn't going through the whole process. It just got dismissed. It could be for a wide variety of reasons, and cases get dismissed all the time. That doesn't mean you're innocent. But obviously, he's a frauditor. He's going to count it as a grandiose victory, but that pales in comparison to the troubles he might be facing for the Billboard, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But I also want to show you this clip where it looks like LIA's attorney wasn't even sure they were going to win this.
All right, Jacob, anything else?
Yeah, I'll say this, man. I was skeptical. You were a lot more, behind the scenes stuff, if you don't mind. You were a lot more confident that we're going to win, even though I completely believe the law's on our side. I honestly was concerned that we wouldn't win anyway. And I'm actually very pleasantly surprised that that this worked out.
So yeah, that's a kind of concerning response that he's surprised that LIA was able to get the case dismissed. Moving on, we're going to talk about the new possible felony charges that he could be facing. Once again, we're not 100% sure at the moment because there's a grand jury that's going to be debating on that, but it has to do with the Billboard stunt. So for those who haven't seen the Billboard stunt, I'm going to show you a brief clip. Basically, LIA was trying to make a sensational video, so he rented a Billboard truck and parked it in front of the Commissioner Ryder's house, and that caused a police response. Take a look for yourself.
Police commissioner's residence. So right now we have Nassau County Police within minutes, literally minutes of us arriving. The Nassau County Police Department has arrived here during our peaceful protest. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well, sir. Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Right on my shirt.
Your name's right on your shirt?
Yep.
How do you
have
spell
ID on you?
How do you spell that?
You have ID on you, sir? It's Officer Poulos.
Officer Poulos, and your badge number?
You have ID on you?
I do not.
Hands in your pockets.
I do not have any identification
You don't
on
have
me.
any identification
I don't give
on you?
identification unless I've been suspected of committing a crime,
Okay,
Officer
well, I'm
Poulos.
asking you for your identification.
And I'm going to respectfully decline
What
that
are you doing
request.
here?
I'm peacefully protesting. What does it look
You're
like? Do you see?
peacefully protesting?
Peacefully protesting. See the
Protesting.
billboard truck?
Billboard truck?
Yeah, you see it? With all the different signs that's going to be on there?
That's gonna be on there? It looks like there's nothing on there right now.
Well, yeah, he's changing the settings right now, but yeah. It's a peaceful protest against the Nassau County Police Commissioner,
Do you have
Patrick
a
Ryder.
permit for that protest?
I don't need a permit. I don't need a permit. I'm not using any megaphones or doing anything of that
You got
nature.
a huge screen here.
Right.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, 100% necessary. I'm going to be out for 8 hours. I'm going to be here for a while, then I'm going to drive around. Why is he pulling in so fast? This is not an emergency. he can hurt somebody, and he's not even have his lights and sirens on. You see?
Sir, why can't you just cooperate with us?
Hired. Look, he hired 17
Stop
for
recording.
seven,
Stop.
17
I'm asking
former.
you to stop recording. I'm asking you for your identification.
No,
I don't understand.
no, you're not getting my
Sir, stay
identification.
over there.
You're not. Just stay in the truck. You're not getting any identification, and I'm not going to stop recording. Period. That's it.
So you just have to be difficult.
I'm not being difficult. I'm exercising my rights. You took an oath to uphold those rights,
I am.
so you should. You didn't take an oath to protect the.
I'm asking you for your identification.
And I'm telling you, no, it's my Fourth Amendment right not to identify myself to law enforcement.
Okay.
You know who I am.
So for my safety, I'm going to pat you down. All right.
I don't consent to any searches or seizures. So you do what you do.
I'm not searching you. I'm going to pat you down to make sure you don't have any weapons.
I don't
on you.
consent to any searches or seizures.
That's fine. All right. You got anything else on you?
So even though he said, I don't consent to any searches and seizures as if it's some magic word, he got patted down. And eventually he left the area. There was an extreme. Extremely suspicious cut. We don't really know what happened. As usual, frauditors aren't too transparent with their content, but it is to be expected. Now,
Yeah, you know me, Mike, don't you? Damn right. Now I'm messing with this microphone again. I switched microphones. The other one was cutting out. Where'd it go? I saw it up here. Oh yeah. So something went by in the comments while I had my head tucked around the corner. Oh yeah, Braveheart. Yeah, I mean he's talking about how boring shit is. Well, dude, you know, you don't have to be here. We love having you here. Stay here and make comments. But damn, I mean, keep talking about how bored you are. You either enjoy being bored or you just like to whine. I don't know which it is, but you're welcome here. Of course, we don't turn anybody away, but really? Yeah. Well, I didn't fall asleep. I did bump the court though. But I do fall asleep occasionally and get into 6 or 7 hours of doing this shit because I don't sleep. I have to sit up to sleep. I don't know if anybody's ever had sleep apnea, but no, I know, Mike. I'm not worried about you. I was just talking about this character that keeps whining about how fucking bored he is. You know, I run into something that's boring and stand there and watch it. Or I go on. FT and you know, yeah, no, I froze because my mic. I hope my mic is working. I've had so much trouble with it. Hold on, make sure. Yeah, it looks like it is. Glasgow, Rampage. What up? Yeah, Draco, it's a bitch. I've had to prop myself up for a long time, and I never have been much of a sleeper. I mean, it just my career has always been where I'd only have a few hours a day to sleep anyway. So, but yeah, propping yourself up. I even bought an inversion table, and occasionally I'll get on that inversion table. You just, Yeah, I know the video's frozen alone. I'm pretty sure somebody just acknowledged that my mic's working because I'm messing with this. I'm messing with this plug. It's gotta be. I don't have to go to the other browser and check. Okay, good. Kim Sikorsky, new member. Thank you. Welcome. You might want to talk to King Braveheart before you join the channel. He'd probably try to convince you that it's not worth your time. But I don't do this for any other reason than something to do.
Now, back to the live stream that just happened this morning. Now it turns out that LIA might be facing some charges for this. Check this out.
Patrick Ryder, the police commissioner, sent his police officers across county lines to pick me up on that warrant, and he was unsuccessful in that. So I told you earlier in the video that I released the Billboard video. This has been a great week, very successful week for We the People and exercising our First Amendment rights. More charges have been dismissed. But I did release the Billboard video. I'll link it in the description where I did the Billboard truck protest in Nassau County. I just want to give you guys a little update on some concerning news. So shortly after my Billboard truck peaceful protest in Nassau County, where I was protesting the corruption perpetrated by Patrick Psycho Ryder and his police department, I obtained a copy of this subpoena. This subpoena was sent to the truck driver of the Billboard truck. It says, "Greetings, you are commanded to appear before the Nassau County Grand Jury on Thursday, May 9th, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. as a witness in a criminal action being prosecuted by the people of the state of New York against John Doe, and that you bring the copies of the following with you: all records regarding the rental, anybody who knew about the rental, was associated with the rental in any way, details regarding payments, a copy of the rental agreement, all information concerning the time and place and return of the vehicle, copies of the driver's license, and all of the personal information that were used to secure this rental." And this was sent to the driver of the Billboard truck by Dana Grossblatt. She is the bureau chief for the district attorney in Nassau. She's the one that was handling my case personally. I don't know exactly who they're investigating. I mean, if I had to guess, I would guess me. The only thing we see here is John Doe. So they're investigating John Doe in association with that Billboard truck. And I can't confirm whether it's an investigation into me. I don't know who else. It's just me and the truck driver there. I don't know who else it could possibly be. But in the event, I did share this with my attorney as soon as I received it. And obviously, any legal concerns, I'm going to talk to my attorney about them. And if this John Doe is indeed me and they're trying to indict me on some criminal offense, my attorney and I have submitted to the district attorney a notice to testify at the grand jury. So we will be there on May 9th in the event that this criminal investigation is into me. So, Jacob, I just wanted to talk really briefly on this. I know we don't have all the facts of this yet, but we do have some facts. We have the subpoena from the same exact attorney who was prosecuting the bureau chief, who was prosecuting the cases against me, and that was against you in court.
So here there's something that I'm wondering. How did Sean get this subpoena? Is it the truck driver that gave it to him? Is it the company? Are they allowed to give him that information? I would assume something like this would be kept secret. And secondly, they're saying John Doe, but we clearly know it's LIA they're talking about. He's the only one that did such a stunt with that truck. So it is safe to assume it is indeed him that is being investigated.
Again, we don't have the name of the person they're investigating. It's only listed here as John Doe. If it were hypothetical, if it was me that they're investigating for the Billboard truck video, the protest that I conducted in Nassau County. What are your thoughts on that?
So again, I really don't know what this is about. As a general rule, I don't say
Braveheart, I like shit. I spent 2.5 years and 3 surgeries just so I could comfortably take one again. Matter of fact, I'm up to 2 a day right now. So I like shit. You're trying to be literal over something like that. How boring your life is, man.
say much about grand jury cases because they are secretive, but especially ones I don't know anything about. That said, in a pure hypothetical, I think that if there was any kind of criminal investigation into what is essentially political speech, then that in of itself, even if no charges are brought, does come across as retaliatory. And also, I think it does chill the expression of free speech. So again, I'm always very cautious to make assumptions, but any type of investigation of that nature, and certainly any charges based simply on speech, would be, in my opinion, wholly unconstitutional.
Right. And I know as an attorney, you're very calculated in the things that you say, and as you should be. You've given me great advice. To me, I don't know who else it could be but me being investigated, and I don't really appreciate it at all. I think it comes off as very retaliatory to my actions that day and my protest. For example, even if this wasn't an indictment against me, this is still going to have the same effect on the Billboard truck company as to intimidate them. So that way I will have problems renting the Billboard truck again. So maybe I'll just have to buy my own Billboard truck. Maybe we, the people, will come together and buy our own Billboard truck and have our own Billboard truck company so we can't be intimidated. But again, if it is against me, we don't know, but I suspect that it is.
I also suspect that it is. For once, Sean, this is
Braveheart, you don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about my physical condition. You don't know jack shit about me. So don't worry about what I do in my pastime. I still work. I still earn a living. I still have people that rely on me to put food on their table. So you don't know shit about me. Nothing. I'm not going to tell you to go work out in the gym. I have no idea if you're a fat slob or a little punk. Talk like a little punk, but so just make your comments, leave the personal shit out of it. I'm not going to insult you personally, nor anyone else.
all about you. You want to be the center of attention, and today you got exactly what you wanted, and maybe a little bit more. Sean seems to be extremely confident in his capability of getting away with his crimes because so far he hasn't had any significant setbacks, but you can only get away with it for so long. And if this is indeed a felony charge, it could put him in a lot of trouble. And that's the thing with these YouTube wannabe journalists. They don't know how to do journalism.
I'm not worried about it. It's just somebody that's that miserable. I mean, that's when you get the cattle prod out and say, come on, move along, dude. Move along. I don't care if he stays here. He can sit here and babble all he wants, but don't get personal. Don't get personal with anybody in the chat, and don't get personal with me because I don't. And there's a few things that will get you blocked off the channel, but they're very few. And if you start making personal insults, there you go.
The same way how Turtle Boy got indicted for 6 felonies because they just go way too far when they're trying to do their journalism, Sean might have stepped too far as well today. I guess time will tell.
And we did what we could do, was file that notice to testify if it is against me. And that's all we can do at this time until May 9th. So we find out. They didn't list the charges or anything like that. I don't know what I could possibly be charged with. I've consulted my attorney, and there's nothing I did that was illegal.
I just realized something. The Reyes attorney reminds me, kind of looks a little like Kfar, like he might be Kfar's brother. And he kind of talks when Kfar does talk, he kind of talks like him.
Complied with all laws. I was engaged in a constitutionally protected activity. And let's not forget that the police commissioner sent people to my home to intimidate my family and to pick me up on unlawful charges that were proven to be unlawful by a district court judge in Nassau County. So let's not forget that. Tried to run me off the road.
Put a baseball cap backwards on
protesting
that
with a
guy's head and
billboard
tell me
truck
if
in
I'm
front
wrong.
of his home, on his block, on his residence, and in the neighborhood, and driving it around all of Nassau County for 8 hours. That's protected speech. That is 100% protected by the First Amendment. I don't know what they could be investigating me for, but I just wanted to keep each and every one of you updated that this is what.
Surrender Monkey, you're one of the more active in all the chats. Every time I'm somewhere and you're there, I read them. You're good. You do just fine. That's funny.
What's happening in Nassau County? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Jacob will be with me every step of the way,
You can quote me all you want, Braveheart. That's fine. You can quote me, but you didn't hear me say anything about going to the gym. I mentioned that I have sleep apnea, and it's a pain in the ass. So now you can make a joke about me putting something up my ass, I guess. I don't know. But it's a tough thing to live with. It also, it brings upon, when you awake from one of those episodes, there's a lot of anxiety that comes with it. Your heart rate's extremely high. You're confused. Even if you only been out for 15 or 20 minutes. Never thought I'd have to deal with that kind of thing. And it's a medical condition that affects you psychologically as well. And it's tough. It's a tough one what do they say, nut to crack. And I've tried lots of different, and I've gotten so used to not sleeping. I mean, my job kept me awake during the night, and I slept in the afternoon for a few hours because I worked 16 hours a day. But you learn to operate on 3, 4, 5 hours. Yeah, that's right. And that's why the anxiety is so bad. Nuke, I'm gonna call you Nuke. The anxiety is really bad because that your subconscious. There's times that even when I'm sitting up and I start to fall asleep, I catch myself and I stop myself from falling asleep. And it's a subconscious thing because the anxiety that comes with how you wake up sometimes is just so intense. I mean, if there's any one thing I would never wish on anybody, and that's sleep apnea. Just about everything else in the world. And you can I've tried all their tricks, and the only thing that really works is being propped up. Who in the hell can sleep with a mask on their face? I don't get that one.
I'm up. I have the utmost confidence in Jacob's ability to represent me in any case that may be coming. Hopefully there won't be. But Jacob, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
we really been winning a lot lately, and it's a lot thanks to you. You've been working really hard behind the scenes that nobody sees, and you've been fighting for my rights. You've been fighting to get these cases against me dismissed, and we're 4-0, my friend. And I hope that we don't get. Honestly, I hope we could just continue our personal relationship and not have to fight any more unlawful charges, honestly. But, I have the utmost confidence in you. If it does come up again, we, the people, will be victorious. I truly appreciate you. Any final thoughts, Jacob?
Well, yeah, two quick things. One, about May 9th. So just so everyone understands, that's a date for this particular evidence. That evidence is scheduled or requested for that date. That doesn't mean a grand jury will be voting on anything or hearing testimony on that date. So grand jury investigations could take a month or two. So I would just keep that in mind, that you're not going to get some sort of answer to any of this on the 9th. And even after grand jury investigations remain sealed for sometimes for a year. So there's that.
Quick question for you, Jacob. Hate to interrupt you. Grand juries, are they usually for felony charges, or say for both? Are they used for misdemeanors? In your experience, you were a prosecutor for over a decade, so you have a lot of experience with these kinds of things.
Here's what the law is. The law is that a grand jury is necessary to move forward on a felony, but it is not only used for felonies, right? On occasion, and there's certain types of cases that I've seen where this happens, a grand jury is convened on a misdemeanor matter. And an example of a case like that may very well be a case where the DA is looking for some sort of probable cause determination, independent of themselves.
You heard it right out of the lawyer's mouth. It could be a felony or it could be a misdemeanor. If they're going through all that trouble and subpoenaing a bunch of people to testify, I would probably assume it's a felony, but that's just an assumption. Now let's see what LIA has to say as closing remarks.
Again, from the bottom of my heart, without your continued support, none of these victories would be possible.
Oh, Josh.
We, the people, have affected so much change in the last 3 years of our activism, and I'm truly humbled and honored to be a part of it. We defeated the corrupt and tyrannical Nassau County government with unlimited taxpayer resources to go against me, and we won yet again. We are currently 9-0 against all of the criminal charges that have been levied against us during our activism. Now we still have the Schenectady charge, which is a violation of the law. It's not a criminal charge, it's an infraction. I have court for that coming up. Stay tuned to the channel to get updates along the way on that case. Thank you again to Jacob Burial for his relentless defense of
Well, surprisingly, what he said at the end there was actually coherent. I've never heard him make that much sense, because what he was saying at the beginning was total horseshit. Anyways.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, the sleep apnea thing. I've tried everything. I have never tried the neck vibration thing. But I did discuss with this new doctor. I guess they have now a implant they can do. It's relatively new science, so I told him I wasn't interested in being a guinea pig. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. I mean, you get to a certain point, when things start to regress, your body starts to regress, your mind starts to regress. It just happens. My mom and I joked about it till almost the time she passed away. She tried to put humor in the fact that her mind wasn't working like she was accustomed. And DP and I talked about it the other day. It just, you try to pull things out sometimes, and you never had a problem, coming up with a word and to complete a sentence or a thought about something that you experienced, and you can't pull it out. Somebody's name, the names are they're killer. I used to be a walking phone book, man. I knew everybody's name and address and phone number. Of course, there's reasons for that, but yeah, you get something like sleep apnea. Now, I've had the apnea for quite a while, but I was also told that I should have my tonsils removed, but I've had throat issues. That's why my voice goes in and out of scratch sometimes, because I've had some issues with my larynx, and I don't want to take my tonsils out at this point in my life. To me, it seems ridiculous. I mean, it gets to a point where you just go, okay, suck it up, chump. Live with it, figure out a way to live with it. All right. I'm gonna call it a night. I've got quite a few things I need to catch up on. I normally take Mondays away from my office so that I can get other things caught up, and I was stuck in my office all day yesterday, so I'm behind on some other things. Get that done. Appreciate everybody being here, as boring as it is. And send me, you see a video or something you like, you want me to mess with it, drop it, frauditor@gmail.com. And if I've got time, sometimes the box gets a little full and it takes me a while to kind of filter through it. But oh, I know what I was going to ask that. Wait, before we go, because I meant to ask when DP was here. I'm going to pull something up here and see if anybody knows what the hell this is. Hold on just a minute. Where's that email at? Is this it? Yeah. I can box that out. You see how much this is going to share. Okay. Now let me close that back up. Let me share this and see how much it's going to, if I can keep it from putting too much information on the screen. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hold on just a minute. So I got this email, so I just need to strip it from there. Shit. It's going to take, just give me a second here. There. There, and just about there, ladies and gentlemen. Give me one more second here. All right. Now, go back to here. Let's see if I can pull this up now. I think it'll be big enough. Yeah, it should be big enough to see. Share. See, I want to do window. That one. Share. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, came up. Okay. So this just showed up in an email from somebody I don't know. And they may have a channel name that I recognize, but I don't recognize the email name. And let's see if I get this, make it a little bit bigger or not, without being ridiculous about it. Another thing I hate is having to put reading glasses on. Okay. So this thing, I don't know what website it is. It says to review us on Google. I haven't Googled it yet. I guess I'll go take a look at it. That probably would have been the thing to do. And it basically talks about insurance. And we are not attorneys. We employ attorneys for this purpose. And he suggests, yeah, does anybody recognize this? Is it something that somebody here sent to me? Let's see what the name was on that. Yeah, don't worry about Braveheart. He's definitely must be lonely. It's probably the guy that knocked the books out of your hands when you were in the 8th grade and then went running down the hallway laughing. He kind of talks like a bully. Yep, let's see. So that is so this is from somebody named, or their email. Why is the message clipped? Interesting. Huh. Charles Fraser, woodsideagency.com. It's called Attorney Shield. So I didn't know if Charles has a YouTube handle that might be in the chat. Obviously watches this stuff. It's the first email I've seen from this email address. Let's see here. Anyway, fishing mail. It's groupie. Ram spam. Yeah. Pride spam. We've talked about that before. Good old pride spam. All right. Tex, if you're still there, yeah, I see your email here now, dude. I would really, if I planned on staying on, I would. I'd love to have you up. But I just I don't need anything to entice me to run any longer. It's so boring anyway. So I think my channel program. It's an insurance. Yeah, no, I know. I know it's an insurance company, but I'm trying to get what the email site agency. See, it says right here, capacity insurance brokers. I guess I could just read it out loud, and then maybe everybody. But it just doesn't make any sense to me why it was sent to me. I don't know. Maybe I need insurance. Maybe somebody's trying to tell me something. Maybe it's Braveheart. Maybe this is a sock. He's on a sock channel. Maybe he's trying to tell me I need insurance because I'm so unhealthy and unalive. My life isn't around this channel, dude. my life was way more involved than this stupid YouTube channel. And if you watch my videos, you'll see that's what I told Kaiser too. It's a YouTube channel, man. It's a YouTube channel. Everybody takes it too damn serious. Too serious. People come, people go. Idiots show up in the chat. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You know, it's YouTube. It's such a minute part of my life. That's why I'm always behind, because I never have enough time to prepare. I mean, it takes work to do this shit, even if you do it poorly, and even if your content's boring, it still requires time. And I thought I was going to retire, but it just doesn't happen like that. Never does. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Actually, COVID is going to be my excuse. Everybody else uses it, so I'm going to use it too. Wait a minute. Am I missing something over here? Yeah, that's a great saying. Once again, you're just, there's certain things you just don't want to say about people, and personal insults aren't necessary. You can make humorous jokes and so on and so forth, but there was only a couple of words that I was raised that would get my mouth slapped by my mother, and stupid was one of them. She hated that word. I like the word moron. Moron's a good word. Hey, yeah, we were talking about Eline earlier. I did go over to his channel one night and kind of breezed through it. And as I was going through, you know, typical clicking through stuff, I found a link to a marine periodical, and there was some really good stuff in there. Of course, I got there was a story, a Vietnam era story, and I think it started 69 into the story ended around in 73, but it got my attention, and I thought, you know, I've never heard of the magazine before. It looks like it might be a monthly periodical. I think it was called Leatherhead, or leather something or another. I'll have to go back over there and find it. Well, thank you, Surrender Monkey. I enjoy your comments, and I really do appreciate you in the comment sections. Yeah, Leatherneck, William. Yeah, Leatherneck. Yep, Draco's got it too. Cool. Good writing, great story. At least that story was. Now, it got my attention only because, you know, Vietnam was, you know, for anybody that's up there around my age was probably affected by it, I'm sure. Yeah, that shows you just how. See, I told Braveheart before, he's got to be careful when he doesn't know things about people. See, if he really knew me well enough, he wouldn't make that kind of statement because he knows I don't have any. Just a kid or a decent regular social budget. Yeah, I'm assuming it's not a highly funded, but I'm going to check it out. I enjoyed it. I don't read as much as I used to, but I found it real easy to read. Is that right, Draco? Yeah, both of my parents, of course, they actually met at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois, World War II, and then when I was born, I was so boring and so ugly, my dad left. He didn't want to stick around and watch his boring, ugly son grow up. And my mom got remarried, and she married my stepfather, was in the Korean conflict. He was actually disabled from the Korean conflict, but he was not disabled due to, it was wartime, but it didn't have anything to do with the beer bottle got busted and shoved in the side of his neck and tore his neck open. It happened in a bar, which is appropriate for him. Let's see. I'm trying to read the comments. Okay. Well, I don't have any anyway, Braveheart. As you grow old, some things just start falling apart, you know. But I have managed to kick skin cancer, and I made my way through that, and had successful surgery. Thank goodness, finally, because it started in November of 2019. Finally got my colon all fixed up, so now I got the old poop chute working a lot better, which is comforting. Yeah, Nuke, I hope everything's going all right for you, man. Drop an email. Let me know how you're doing, how everything's working out for you. It's good to see you here. The chemo cream's tearing up your face. You can't. I can't speak for anybody else because we're all different. Our chemistry's all, everybody reacts to certain things differently than others. They had given me a salve. It was a little teeny 2-ounce tube of salve. It was $70 some, I think. And I went to American Shaman and got to talking to them and asked them if they could recommend ointment, CBD ointment, that might accomplish the same thing. So I tried 2 or 3 of those and found one that worked great. All the spots that they removed, I would use it. And I also, at that time, discovered a product that's made in Canada, and it doesn't have any THC or CBD in it. It's just basically hemp oil, and it's cold press. And I use that on places on my skin too, and it seems to do real well. I'm sorry to hear you having that problem with it. I know what I was going to say about this ointment. I wish I could remember what the name of it was. It's been 5 years ago now, or better. Oh no, longer than that. Shit, this is 2014. It's been 8 years. But I looked it up on the internet, and the actual salve itself was developed for herpes sores, to apply to herpes sores to keep them from. I've never had a herpes sore, but as I was reading about it, I guess it becomes active and kind of discharges and so on and so forth, and that's supposed to help keep that from happening. But I didn't have that good luck with it. The CBD stuff ended up doing a fantastic job, and I still have some. And then I got a bung knee too, so I rub it on that, and that kind of helps a little bit too on the pain part. So yeah, Linda is speaking up. That means her attention has been gotten. It doesn't work. Wow. Yeah, all I can say is it's worth looking into. Either you do it on the internet. The reason I went to the American Shaman, locally where I'm at, one of their locations, actually a pretty well-respected doctor who is, most of them don't endorse that stuff too much. This guy's a DO, and I heard him on a radio interview one, I think it was Sunday morning when they do those talk show things, and he was carrying on about CBD ointments and oils and stuff, and that was right after we legalized medical. So yeah, I gave it a try. It worked good for me. I still have some spots pop up here and there, and they just freeze it off. And yeah, I'm not a doctor, just a kidder, and I'm sure you know what you're talking about. I just don't know. I know that like my spots, I didn't have, of course, I didn't have to have a lot of stuff surgically. I had what was it called? Basal cell carcinoma. Yeah, basal cell carcinoma and melanoma. And the basal cell carcinoma reminded me more of like a poison ivy or something. It was, it was irritating and kind of discharged yuck and stuff, where the melanoma is just a spot. So when these melanoma spots pop up, man, the doc he gets his little freezer tool out and just freezes the spot, and I rub a little ointment on it, and man, it's done. It's over with. Unclean Hands just went through a couple surgeries, and recently another one on his lip, and it was pretty extensive. They had to remove quite a bit of his lip. And I know he popped in earlier. If he's still listening, we wish you well, man. If you ever need anything, to holler. Holler. I love it. I love it. The words that we learn to use that are appropriate to where you're at in the country. You talk like that, like JJ. Oh, yeah. All right. It's 10 o'clock. We've gone long enough, and Braveheart's going to run out of insults. So, anyway, just a kidder. Appreciate you. Betty, what's up? They did post something. I looked earlier and they didn't have it. Let me go look real quick, and I'll put it up before we go. Let me go look, see what they posted. Dun, 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 dun. Don't shut that down, you dumbass. That's the browser. Well, you did anyway. Oh, goodness. StreamYard. Let's see what Nevada courts say. Somebody said it was 1:30 that was in Reddit is 1:30. What do it say? March 6th. Home. Community tab. Oh, yeah, they did. Here we go. Brett Clarkson of the Las Vegas Review-Journal covers whatever that says. Oh, jailed YouTuber Jose Chile de Castro's demand that Justice of Peace Ann Zimmerman order his release. In a recent video, the self-described journalist and the constitutional law scholar apologized for his inappropriate behavior in the court, threatened to sue the judge, and called her a tyrant for jailing him. And they got a picture, that same picture when he's like 26 years old. And then they post below it. That's about Kim Blandino. That's not about Chile. So it doesn't. It just says he's going to cover it and put the link. So let me copy that link address and bring it back over to you guys, because apparently this is the link to it tomorrow, and I'll hold on to it, of course. Oh my God, that link's a mile long. Forget that. Forget it. Forget it. Yeah. One of those. See if there's another link up here that's not. Art of Judges. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I'll just do the community tab, because they'll have it up in the morning. I'll paste it in there. I'm sure you guys don't need it, but I'll do it anyway, just out of courtesy. Oh, never judge a book because her money. Only on Planet of the Apes, right? Yeah. Yeah, we got some weather coming in. We had some devastating weather over the weekend, and had a pretty big flood of people come into town the last couple days coming in from out of state. So things are a little active around here, probably more so in Oklahoma City than here, because a little bit closer, but we still get our share coming in here. But they, yeah, I don't know if you guys saw some of the coverage coming out of Oklahoma. Of course, the tornado's been bad to the north of us this year, and I said early in the season I thought everything would shift north because El Nino is running a north pattern up by the Canadian border, and that's really unusual to go that far north for a Pacific pattern to do that weather pattern. So yeah, a lot of tornadoes in Iowa and Nebraska, and probably Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, where they generally form in what we call the I-44 corridor, or Route 66 corridor. And then they take off and move to the northeast. But this system the other night was moving so slow. They just was creeping across the state. And the air behind it was really, really cold, because it wasn't that warm here. If it had been 10 degrees warmer, we would have had a real devastating weekend. It would have been worse. But because our temperatures stayed down prior to that front, it's not unusual for us this time of year to be well into the mid to upper 80s, and we were in the upper 60s, lower 70s. So add 10 degrees to that, and the tornadoes would have been horrendous this last weekend. And as they were spotty. But we had a couple small towns that just kind of got wiped out. And, people ask me all the time that live in other parts of the world or the country, you used to them. Well, you never get used to them because they're so unpredictable, and I don't think you ever really get used to. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to them. I try to look at I knew the weather was going to be bad that weekend. I think I even talked about it on the live stream. I said, I'm going to keep an eye on things because it was moving so slowly. And it held together usually where I live. Usually they start falling apart around 10, 11 o'clock at night. But that system held together and just kept going. I think Nebraska got a pretty bad one. Yeah, I don't think you ever get used to them. I've been in a couple of them. And when I was in law enforcement, it was my job. I had to be out spotting. We didn't have all the technology you have today. So everybody had a region where they went and they would call out the weather from where they were at. And that's basically how it worked back then. So you kind of, I guess you kind of get used to them a little bit. I've seen so much devastation from tornadoes that, and I'm not to say that other catastrophes, I'm not comparing anything, because hurricanes are horrific, mudslides are horrific, fires are horrific. But the thing about tornadoes, I don't want to sound morbid, but I like the weather when you stand outside and you have rotation above you. It kind of makes your hair stand up on your arms and stuff. It's more of a vacuum. So it's a real interesting feeling. It almost like a little reverse gravity. You get a little lightheaded, almost like a little bit of a rush. It's an interesting feeling. And people nowadays, you watch these storm chasers. I mean, they get right up on them now. Those storm chasers are right there. They'll get up just a couple hundred yards away from them. The biggest fear is, trash. You got to watch what's flying around in the air. Yeah, just a kidder. Yeah, that's the thing. And one can go over you and it's just not touching at the moment. And they can just drop down, take out a little speck and then go right back up, or it can drop down and go, I don't know where, probably a lot of people don't even know what this is, but Joplin, Missouri got wiped out several years ago. And that was a pretty big deal because Joplin was, it's I'm just going to take a guess. I actually went to school there years and years ago, Missouri Southern State, years ago. And back then it was probably, 10 or 15,000. So it's probably Joplin, probably 50,000. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess, maybe even bigger. And it just wiped out Joplin. But this poor little town, matter of fact, since I'm here, give me a second. I'll see if I can find this. It was interesting footage. The Channel 9 copter from Oklahoma City Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. Yeah, we had two systems come through. The first one came through middle of the day, and the second one started coming, but it didn't hit here until about 10 o'clock at night, 9:30. But it was so slow moving. That was the one that was the scariest. But that helicopter was flying. I mean, it's just crazy the footage they get of tornadoes. I always think of that movie Twister, how they tried so hard to get their little experiment up in the sky and stuff. Well, hell, these guys tried right into the damn thing. And we had some baseball size hail too. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a hailstone the size of a baseball, but it's interesting. Let me see if I can find this without taking too much more time. Don't want to bore the chat too much. No, that didn't do it. Oh. God damn it. Somebody let me know. I want to back way up in the comments. Sorry about that. I had to switch mics again. God dang it. Oh. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I just literally switched them out because the other one kept blinking. The light kept blinking on it, and I was afraid it was breaking up again. All right, so backing back up to the cyclone that was mentioned by, I believe it was Donut, said that his dad or somebody told him a story about the cyclone in Vietnam. And I believe it was, okay, I don't see it now, but it's up there somewhere. I believe it was Donut. So I had a friend. We were all hanging out. This is several years after Vietnam conflict had ended. So this would have been in 80, probably 80, 81 maybe. But anyway, somewhere in that range. Okay, it was your dad? Yeah. So he was telling us a story about how, they got used to, they were always in muck up their ankles. They got used to being wet. They were wet all the time because it was always raining and stuff. And he told the story about how they, this cyclone came and they had to hunker down, and they went through all their supplies. And of course, they were probably doing things they shouldn't be doing on top of that. But went through all their cigarettes and everything. I guess they had to hunker down for quite a while. And of course the story was way more detailed than but just the story alone, this is the first time I've seen somebody or heard somebody, in this case you printed it, or tell me a story about that cyclone. Now it makes me feel better, because I loved the guy. I loved him, but he had a tendency to maybe embellish on things a little bit. He was a good storyteller, so kind of like Kiser, can tell those stories, man. Sure, tell those stories. And but I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. I'm not glad for your dad having to go through it, but I'm glad that I got the validation on that, because I always thought it was maybe a little exaggerated or made up, but lo and behold, yeah. And he was there. God, I hope. Of course, they could have had more than one cyclone. Let's see, 60. That was 68. So 69, 70, 73. So 74 is when he left. So he left in 74. For 6 years, I guess. Did 2 tours. So it's probably, my guess would be, I don't remember what he said, but my guess would be because of some of the things he described they were doing, it seemed to be a little bit more happening toward near the end of the conflict than it was the earlier part of the conflict, meaning the illegal stuff. And that's what his problem was. He got messed up in a bunch of crap. Got him home, got him cleaned up, he made a great husband and a great dad. He was a great guy. We lost him way early, but he was pretty abusive to himself. Vietnam didn't do him any favors, that's for sure. Yeah, it's funny. The Vietnam just made me think of something else. And with Avon being here, and Rage was here earlier, I don't think he is now, but I had to go back. I didn't have to. I went back and watched a video from about a year ago over at Mark Stout's channel. It was a live stream, so I knew he still had it. So I went back to just validate, make sure that the information I remembered was correct, and so on and so forth. But Vietnam had come up. I was asking simple questions to, at that time, he had just become Fraudit Wrangler. He had just started his channel, and he was going around and going to our live streams and stuff and trying to promote his channel and stuff and what have you. But he was there that night. And so we ended up on the panel together. And while Mark was targeting whoever he was targeting on his flash trolling, we talked a little bit behind the scenes. And I'd already knew that some of the stuff he said wasn't true. You guys watched the video, I explained it. I explained that when he showed up at FT's channel, a couple of things that he said, I went and looked and checked on it, and I couldn't verify it, so I thought it was bullshit. So I was always leery anyway. But I said something, I made a comment about, he said his dad was in Vietnam, and I made a comment about Vietnam because I wanted to see, even though I was not there, I had a lot of friends that were, and I knew a little bit about it. So I just wanted to see what the response was. And I said, how did he said his dad came home and was really disappointed in the way he was being treated as a Vietnam vet by society and so on. And it was bad. I mean, it was sad that things were, but it was just part of the social structure at the time. The way he was treated, so on and so forth, and I guess had eggs thrown at him or something when he was now.
And I do remember that was a thing that did happen, but it just made me think of that. I don't know why. I guess the Vietnam part of it. Yeah, I quizzed him pretty much every time I asked him a question after I met him and got to know a little about him. I pretty much knew the answer to it before, because I was streaming. That's when I started live streaming with Mike up British Columbia, exposing takedown, exposing frauditors. And he and I we learned to live stream together. Neither one of us had ever done it. And we just kind of fed off each other and learned how to do it. And Kimmy Dawn was a moderator. And as I said in the video, she disappeared and came back as Kimmy Wrangler. But yeah, just about any time something was said that had to do with anything factual, I made note of it and took the time to go investigate and look and see. Okay, what's going on in the chat? See if Bond's chatting. What's going on there? Surrender Monkey's still here chatting. Yes. Relentless, you are. What do you protect? Okay, maybe I need to go back and read this a little bit, see if I can pick up what's going on over here. Just type. Bride Anvil. Hello, welcome. Yeah, I mean, you can start a fundraiser for anything. Maryland told Colin. Apparently, the prosecutor said they were going to do it. So, and I think Ohio is just going to be one of those deals that, you know, if he gets caught somewhere around there, maybe they'll do it. Maybe they won't. It costs so much to extradite anymore. Hell, everything costs so much anymore. So Yvonne said, you almost died at birth. Interesting, because I know my mother had problems with me because I was breech birth. You know, that was, can't imagine. I just can't imagine that whole process is interesting. Okay, I'm totally lost in the chat. It's too much for me to apprehend and pick up on. All right. Appreciate everybody being here. I need to get going. And part of the stuff I've got to get done before the weekend has to do with these tornadoes. We got a lot of people coming in to assist, and it's there's a lot of gathering of clothing and things like that going on in different communities and stuff. That's kind of what I got to get involved with on Thursday. So appreciate everybody. Love you guys. Let's see. Tomorrow we'll go live if there's going to be a hearing. If it's gonna happen, we'll go live and we'll watch it together. And I need to get going. So love you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you, Linda, Yvonne. You guys are great. I couldn't do it without y'all. And I'm proud of Ram. Until next time, I'll be gone.